Hey guys, Brad here. Today we're going to take a look at the Planex 2 by Festool, but I'm going to show you some video of something that this isn't really marketed for, so it was really cool. I was actually sanding a deck with this, and I'm going to tell you my experience, show you the tool, show you the vacuum, kind of give you my overall opinion. So you may have seen in our previous videos that we're actually doing a major renovation on our own home. Now I bought the Festool Planex and the vacuum here so that we could actually do the drywalling ourselves and get a hands-on experience of what it's like to use this tool. Now I've done a lot of drywalling in my career and I just absolutely cannot stand sanding, so I wanted to take my game up to the next level. And perfect timing, they came out with the Planex 2. And this thing is absolutely amazing. However, I haven't used it on drywall yet. I've only used it on decking. I have this deck that I had to refinish for a client. It was a Batu deck. That wood is of extremely hard wood. It's harder than oak. It's absolutely amazing, beautiful wood. I had to sand it down and give it a nice fresh coat of oil. The deck had been extremely weathered for years and years, and typically you can just oil this wood down, but we decided to sand it and start from fresh. So I tried out the Festool Planex. This has got an 8-inch head on it. It articulates in so many different ways. We've got the suction control down here, which shows you can suck to the wall. If you put this over to the ceiling, you're going to get the maximum suction. Now this thing will literally suck to the ceiling and you can just walk away. It doesn't really do anything, but it's that powerful that it'll just stay there. So we've got 3 different attachments here. We've got a middle piece, the handle, and the end piece. Now I've also bought a second middle piece that fits in here as well. We can pull that out. Now the max you can fit in this container are 2 of these. It'd be nice if you could put a 3rd one, but they don't leave enough room for that. You also get your power cord, of course. You get some straps so you can attach your power cord to the vacuum hose. And here's another strap right here so you can attach everything together. They recommend an auto clean vacuum. This is the CT36E AC. The difference between this Festool vacuum and the other ones is that this has AC in it, which is auto clean. So what that's going to do is it's going to give a little knocking noise inside, and it's going to clear the HEPA filter as well as it shakes the hose. That is this shaking it and doing the auto clean. Now you can adjust the auto clean on here with the dial, and you can adjust the suction level as well. So here's your suction level, here's your auto clean, and we keep it on auto. Festool also recommends that we hit the auto clean every hour. So what that means is you flick this switch over to the AC button just once and it'll kind of cycle through and do an auto clean of the whole entire unit. So let's take a look at the Planex itself. So we've got the head section, and then we've got the middle section. Now the middle section, it's really cool how this all connects together. We've got the vacuum port right inside and then all the electronics up top. So when you slide this on, you just have to push this lever forward and it locks it in place. To take it apart, you pull it back, and then you just have to pull it with your thumb to release it, and then it comes right apart. You can't just pull it. You have to do this little motion right here. Once we get this all connected, it ends up being quite long, as you can see. So I'm just going to take the middle section out so it's a little easier to see in the video. All right. We lock it all together and we're good to go. Now the cool thing about this is it's very well balanced. It has a T-handle on the bottom, so I can just hold this straight up and down, and it's very little effort for me to balance this nice and plumb. So that's good when you're working on the ceilings, because you really don't want to have to be you know, fighting this thing back and forth, dealing with an off-centered tool. Now, a couple other functions on this is it has Bluetooth, so you can connect that right to your vacuum. You can turn it on and off. You've got a light function. You've got the variable speed control on the side right here. And so the variable speed control is for the pad. The light is all around the edge of the sander. The big plus with this tool is that when you're sanding drywall or in a dark space, this light is a game changer. I even used it when I was sanding the deck, so I could see perfectly in sort of the dark areas of the deck where it was needing a little bit more sanding and where it wasn't. So when I was sanding the deck, I was using the 80 grit. So these boxes, you get about 25 sheets in one box, and I only used a few of them to do this whole deck. Keep this in mind when I was sanding the deck. Because the boards are cupped, we had to go back after and hit it with an orbital. But this made it for really quick work of some of the boards that were flat. It also helped get rid of stains. It just really sped up the whole job. I found I didn't have to wear a mask at all because I was connected to the vacuum, and it just made the job really pleasant to do. Just standing there, full suction, just going back and forth. It was really effortless, and my helper was on his knees using one of the orbital sanders. But really, we finished sanding in about 5 hours total, 5-6 hours. It was really easy to do. It didn't take that long, and I didn't have to rent any equipment. I got to use this drywall tool to actually sand a deck. So that's really exciting for me because I'm more of a woodworker than a drywaller. The fact that I can now use this to sand even like sheets of wood if I wanted to. If I was building a large table, maybe with like epoxies and resins and all that kind of stuff, I could use this to sand it. If you're thinking about getting a large sander, keep this in mind. Number one, the suction on it is incredible. All the different sandpapers you can get are amazing. Just the overall unit is very impressive. So let me show you some other sandpapers that I got. Back here, we've got some 320. I've got the 80. We've got the 40 grit and the 220. I got the 40 grit because I thought it's good to have for doing drywall stipple. I'm hoping that's good enough. I haven't tried it yet. I think the 320 and the 220 are going to be great for sanding drywall mud. I might have to go up another 100 grit or something if I'm going into level 5. I'm not sure yet. I know it's going to be something I'm going to have to play with. Once I do that, we'll do another video of the whole drywalling experience and sanding of our place, and I'll give you my 2 cents on how this works for drywalling. But all the buzz out there is that it's amazing for that, and that's why I bought it. But it's also amazing for decking. Another cool thing are these interface pads. So from what I've learned is that these can get wrecked, and I got this new interface pad. This is the 577252. The difference between these two interface pads is that this one has the screws countersunk. So this is a little thicker than the interface pad that actually comes with the tool. So I'm curious to see how this is going to work. If any of you guys have used these and you know and have experience with these interface pads, please let me know. Also, make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell, and if you have any comments or questions, make sure you leave them down below. I'd love to talk to you about this tool. I am a newbie with this tool, and I know by the end of the year I'm going to be a pro, a full-on pro, especially with the decking part, and hopefully with the drywall part, because I have a lot of drywall to sand. Maybe this interface pad would actually stick on top of this because it has that felt bottom, and if you stick it on here, it's very hard to get off. If I press it down, I've already done it once and it took a lot of muscle to peel this thing off. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think ultimately what this interface pad is meant for is you take this one off, you put this one on, and it gives you a little bit more depth. This plastic ring isn't so flush with this interface pad, and it actually pulls you away. I have also heard that when you're sanding drywall, these little screws can leave marks on your drywall. So maybe having them countersunk is going to give me a better finish. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'd love to hear some comments. Let me know, because there were two different interface pads I could have got, and this one looked like the better deal as far as being countersunk. I don't know if there's another interface pad out there that's sort of an intermediary pad that kind of buffers between this pad and the sandpaper. I'm not too sure. I've been looking around. It doesn't seem like it. I just want to make sure that when I'm sanding my drywall mud that I'm going to get a good final product right off the bat, and I'm not going to have to screw around trying to troubleshoot how this thing actually works. But as far as sanding decks, it's super easy. I just use this interface pad. I use 80 grit on Batu, which is a oiled hardwood, and it worked amazing. When you're sanding those boards that are concave, I found using the rectangular sander from Festool was perfect, or you can use one of their 5-inch orbitals. That worked great too. Now lastly, let's just take a quick look at the vacuum. The hose that comes with it is specific for the Planex. So this is the hose that comes with the 36 AEC, and the connection to the vacuum itself is standard. That just connects right in here. So I will note that this does not come with the vacuum or the Planex. This is sold separately. This is a blast gate, so you close it off when you're moving this vacuum around. The reason being is that I just have the plastic liner in here, and the dust can just fall right out. So you get this, you slide it in place. Now you can close it off when you're transporting it, and the dust isn't going to come out. But when you open it up, hook your hose up, you're good to go. Now this end is different than our typical Festool hose. This is meant specifically for the sander and only this sander. So the way it works, you pull this green lever back and you just slide this on just like that, lock it in place. That's all you got to do. Super simple. It stays on, there's no issues. The hose is extremely bendy, so you don't have to worry about that. It's anti-static. I had no issues with this hose. Absolutely a cool tool. When you want to hook up the power to this tool, it's like all other Festools. You've got the twist lock on here. So that hooks in the back. I'll move this hose so you can see it. You pull the hose off first. I typically hook the power up first. So that'll go right in here, like so. And then we'll just give it a little twist lock. Then we hook our vacuum hose up, lock that in place, and then we would hook our cord into our vacuum. Now, anytime we turn the tool on, the vacuum goes on right away. And then when we turn the tool off, the vacuum will just do a couple cycles. That way it gets all the dust out, and then it turns off. So there's a little bit of a delay there, but I find it works great. That's one of the pluses with Festool, is that they have awesome dust collection. There's other attachments you can get that hook on top here. So this is a little tool caddy by Festool. It's a little extra attachment. You don't have to get it, but it is nice when you want to rest your tool up on your vacuum. This clips into the top of the vacuum just like a sustainer, and then your tool rests in it just like this. So this allows you to change your pad out. You have a nice working surface. You can also put in your extension. So if you're transferring between tall rooms and short rooms, you can quickly take this all apart. It's very well balanced, so it's nice to be able to work on this platform. Whereas with the bare vacuum here, even though you have this little kind of concave hole here, you can use it, but what I found is sometimes if you don't have the lock button on your wheels, the vacuum starts to roll and then this might fall down. I like having this little tool caddy clipped into the top of the vacuum. The way I do it is I leave my top tabs locked in place. You just slide this in and then you lock the front and back tab. So you just place it in here, lock it down, lock the front, lock the back, and now you can lay your tools on top of the vacuum. Really great setup. I love it. It's not necessary to have, but it is cool to have the whole entire setup when you're rocking with Festool. So in the future, I'm going to do a more detailed review on the vacuum. And like I said, we're going to do more reviews on this tool in action with drywall. But for now, I really wanted to share the fact that this works on wood. So for all you carpenters out there, this is a great tool to have if you do a lot of deck refinishing. You really do get a nice product when you're done. Okay guys, I hope this video was helpful. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell, and give me some comments down below. I'd love to hear from you if you've used this, what your experiences are, just all the nitty gritty. Till next time, keep on crushing it, and we'll catch you later.